I'm Alyssa Sherman. I'm with the Austin Community Food Co-op. I'm the Community Relations Coordinator. The parent organization of the Food Co-op is Austin Come Together, and it's a non-for-profit organization on the west side of Chicago. And I've been working with them since I was in like 6th or 7th grade. They mainly focus on providing different helping fund different programs in the community. One of the programs I was in was restorative justice circles. We also did a lot of food giveaways during the pandemic. You know, people didn't have money to go to grocery stores, or just nothing was open. We would host like drives where we would just give food, boxes of like produce, meat, frozen meat, that way it could last long and stuff like that. They started the Austin Food Co-op right before COVID, and it's been going on for that long. So technically, we're not open. At the moment, we're trying to invite members of the community to come be owners. That way they can be in the first steps of building this grocery store. That way it's not somebody from a different neighborhood or people that never grew up here, don't know what's wrong with the neighborhood, to be able to say something or make a organization like that, if that makes sense.
So community relations, tell me more about like what your work looks like and how you what your job is in terms of speaking to folks in the community, and like how you talk to them about the co-op.
Basically explaining to them, one, what this co-op already has done already, as far as like giving food away, having different pop-up events in the community on food literacy education and stuff like that. Mainly, I would say my role is to be like the spokesperson for them, like kind of like the salesperson, but more in a sense to a relation standpoint with them, to get on the emotional level with them. That way they can understand why it's important and also be more encouraged to do it, and invite others and stuff like that.
So what are some of the things that you tell people? Because I feel like cooperative economics, sounds very like complicated, but like how do you break it down so people understand like, oh, this is something I should participate in?
Basically, I explain the difference that that type of business is more focused on the returns and profit going towards the stakeholders, which are most commonly a small group of people who started the organization, or who just know within each other, and probably they're not even from the area in which they're trying to bring their organization to. A co-op, from my understanding, is a member-owned business, if that makes sense. The people that's benefiting from the store are the people that's in the community rather than one person. First of all, I think the big issue is like every time we try to ask them to buy a membership, they look at it as like an investment. So they're really worried about what's the return of the investment, what they get, which I totally understand. Like something that a lady mentioned in one of the workshops, she was saying that we come from a culture that like literally everything was kind of stolen from us. So it's like we not trying to give ourselves again and not get nothing back, and just to be used over and over. So I totally understand what their standpoint on that. But it's like, I think the issue is that they are lacking the idea that they could possibly own something in their own neighborhood, because for centuries a building is not owned by the landlord who's a member of the community. It's owned by some guy who put a building there and, created tenants and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest issue, like helping them understand that it's possible for African Americans to have ownership, mainly. I definitely understand now that just because we are the same don't mean that they would get it in a certain sense. Like in my personal standpoint, I feel like this is something very inspiring and powerful to jump up on, especially when it's already been in our history, in our culture. And the fact that it's not active no more, I think sometimes I can be passionate. A lot of people in the community, it's not that they're against you, they just they never seen something like this, or they're not used to it, So I think that's something I'm learning for sure. It's like, okay, you are not trying to be, I know this is exaggerating, but not trying to be the next Martin or next Malcolm, and that's totally understandable. But it's like at some point we have to get back in a role that, I don't want to say ancestors, but on a role that just previous leaders that was in this role, like take take on what they left off.
So, how do you imagine like co-ops could transform the food system for Black communities? Like, how do you think co-ops could make our experience with food like a lot different?
I feel like it could help a lot, especially with the having a chance to have a say so on what type of food you bring it into the stores, which goes into the type of food that you put it in the community. Because if you put in processed food, you gonna get some wacky stuff. But I feel like if we start putting more actual quality food and not just the stuff that they be selling in regular stores, I think having a say so on that would just like transform their idea of power. Not only transform their idea of power, but also just transform their bodies, their health, their wellness. I feel like eating better, you think better, you do better. But we have to give them that chance to do that by bringing people to have a say so on what need to be in our grocery stores and stuff like that.
What do you think the Austin Community Co-op like is needing right now? Like, what kind of support do y'all need to kind of combat some of the challenges that y'all are having?
I know this is such a very simple thing, but I really hope that you get what I mean. Money. Like, money is just, I hate that, like, a lot of organizations or just co-ops or just stuff, period, we start in our own neighborhood, but we're trying to give what we don't have. And I think that's the issue that we have, and we giving too much to the point where it's like, dang, we kind of like, we not really doing our mission. You know what I mean? So I save money, but that's with any co-op. But yeah, money for sure. Yeah.
Even as y'all are navigating that and like feeling like you're giving a lot of yourself, giving too much, how do you stay motivated to keep doing the work?
Well, I have a grandmother she's from Mississippi. She was born and raised. And she's one of those old school people that's like really, really old school. Like she was baptized in Mississippi River type of old school. She was able to leave Mississippi, come to Chicago, start her own business, become an authoress. Like she just did a lot despite of her issues. And it's like, I know that runs in my blood, so that's why I feel like I shouldn't give up. And I know it runs through our skin color blood in general. So it's just like, keeping that in mind, I feel like that's what keep me like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So, yeah.